Interesting. What's up, everybody? It's waba, and good news. So I did a video just a little bit ago where I was saying there might be some desync issues or some audio being out of sync. And honestly, it's something that's stopped me from making stuff for quite a long time. But the good news is I've actually finally figured it out. Because I figured out where it was going out of sync, so I was able to search it. Anyway, that's besides the point. I'm excited, so I'm actually going to be able to pump out a couple of videos really quick. And this video that I'm going to be talking about, or in this video, the build that I'm going to be talking about is an Occultist Caustic Arrow build, an update to just Occultist Caustic Arrow. Now, I did play Caustic Arrow at the start of 3.0. I did some like hybrid sort of. It wasn't terribly efficient. It definitely wasn't as good as it could be. I think, you know, people like Rise QT definitely have better versions of Caustic Arrow that I ever played. But this is definitely a version of Caustic Arrow that I really like now and is more in line with what they have done before. So let's just talk about the changes to Occultist real quick. Vile Bastion now gives you energy shield. It also gives you more energy shield regenerated per second for each enemy you killed, up to 30%, which honestly is plenty. And then also, you cannot be stunned while you have full energy shield. So this means that you no longer need to use an Eye of Kyula. You no longer need to use Valerium. And that was kind of it was a little frustrating to always have to use it, but it wasn't also that big of a deal. So you will essentially pretty much always be stun immune unless you get hit for exactly the amount of ES that you actually have, which, you know, there are videos of people going down to 1 health as a CI build. So with that said, this is clearly a CI build. Profane Bloom got changed. Now there's a higher chance of things exploding, which was pretty good. It helped with clear speed, especially with Caustic Arrow. Now, and this is actually where I really like the change to Profane Bloom, or Occultist in general, other than the fact that you get more ES. You can now apply curses to hex-proof enemies. Before I used Cosprey's Will. Now, I don't need to do that. So, that's really, really good. Okay. Now, for this build, for DPS purposes, you'd go Void Beacon as well. So you would go Vile Bastion, Profane Bloom, and Void Beacon. Okay. You can go Malediction over Void Beacon, but Void Beacon is strictly better for damage by a pretty considerable margin. And offensively is what you really need to focus on Caustic Arrow. So, and as for which ones I would do, I would probably go Vile Bastion, followed by Profane Bloom, and then I would go Void Beacon. I would probably do those last, or that in that order for my ascendancies. So let's go ahead and talk about the passive tree real quick. So this is going to be a pretty normal Caustic Arrow build. Something that I had an issue with when I played Occultist Caustic Arrow in 3.0 was my accuracy was really, really low. And that's definitely one of the weaknesses of a Witch or an Occultist Caustic Arrow build. Something like a Deadeye or a Raider will have a much easier time with accuracy. And that definitely has its benefits. But I still think offensively this is better. So anyway, pretty standard tree, grabbing as much ES as possible, going all the way over to Zealot's Oath. Wait, why are we doing this? We're actually not going Zealot's Oath. I don't even know why I did that. What's up? What?
Why we're not opening the door?
Oh, Grandpa's not opening the door because he's going to work. You want to sit with me while I do this? Alright, we have a guest. We have a guest.
What's a guest?
You're a guest. Alright, don't touch anything. So, we're grabbing as much ES as possible, we're going to get Whispers of Doom, so we could go Tri-Curse. Grab all the Chaos Damage nodes. Go in CI. The only thing that we're really doing that maybe you don't have to do, because you can use the Pierce Gem, is we are grabbing Piercing Shots over here, which then just gives us the ability to grab this Jewel Socket as well. In addition to that, we could get this Jewel Socket over here with the 2 attack speed nodes right before it. We're going to come down, we're going to grab Charisma. Charisma will allow us to actually run Discipline and two Curses on Blasphemy. So you can actually have mana left over to cast. You can also use Heretic's Veil if you'd like, but I didn't put that in the item or in the item section at all. But you could use Heretic's Veil if you want. Let's see what else. Now, the tree pretty normal overall. Let's go and talk about the items now. So you're going to be wanting a +3 bow, Soul Strike. What?
Why is that bad dying now?
What?
Why is that bad dying now?
I don't know. I don't know what you said. We need a Soul Strike Quiver, which is going to give you quite a bit of. It's going to give you a boost to your Energy Shield recharge start. Also, like I said, you could use a Heretic's Veil here if you'd like, but a regular ES Hubris will work. Don't touch that.
Why?
And because I'm talking. And also, just any normal Val Regalia will work. Do you want Hulk?
Yes.
Alright, there you go. Go watch your show.
Why?
Because you're playing with the toy, right? You want to sit here still? This is going to be a terribly candid video. Alright. Ulilopathy gloves. And now Ulilopathy is so you could actually use the Spreading Rot unique jewel. The Spreading Rot unique jewel means to where whenever you have used Blight on an enemy, they will take 50% increased chaos damage, which acts as a more multiplier. Don't put that in your mouth.
Why?
Will you go throw those away for me, please?
Why?
Please? Here.
I want to do something too.
Okay, fine. Sit up here then. Sintrek boots. Sintrek boots are just a really good way of getting a good amount of ES and movement speed, which if you try to get ES and movement speed on rare boots, especially in hardcore, well, in any league, they're pretty expensive. So that's it for that. Now, like I was saying earlier, now that we essentially have stun immunity more or less all the time, we could also use this. You can use this, you don't have to, but I have Hinokora's Sight in here. I don't know how rare this is or how valuable it is, but what I like about it is that it gives you 1,000 flat accuracy rating, and don't put that there. And it gives you the 8% chance to dodge attacks, 8% chance to dodge spell damage, and you cannot be blinded. The cannot be blinded is not really too big of a deal. This kid. Because even if you are blinded, you can ground fire with Caustic Arrow, and Caustic Arrow, since you ground fire, it doesn't necessarily need to hit, and it could still create the cloud and things will still die. So you can do that. The thing is, with having the ability to have this amulet, your accuracy is going to be quite a bit higher. As you can see right now, we're at an 85% chance to hit. Okay, you gotta go. Come here. Do not put that there. I'm not going to cut this video, so stop. I'm not going to edit this video, so people are just going to hear me yell at you, and then you're going to cry. So, let's not do that.
Why?
Why don't you go play in your playroom?
No.
Because I'm recording something.
No.
And frankly, at this point, people aren't here to listen to me argue with you. So yeah, Hinokora's Sight. you know, you can use it. Gives you 1,000 accuracy, dodge, spell dodge, and cannot be blinded. Great. You can use this, you know, you can use a rare amulet if you'd like. You can go with something like a, what am I thinking? You can go with something such as a marble amulet with, you know, with a, I forgot what essence it is, but the essence craft to give you chaos damage. You still probably would want to get accuracy, though. So, in fact, actually, on this moonstone ring that I have here, we have it crafted with a chaos damage essence, and then the accuracy rating on that. Obviously, that's pretty wishful thinking, but it would be something that you can kind of put your currency into. And, you know, if you are someone who likes to torture yourself, you can go through and buy these essences to craft. A Dodre's Damning essentially just allows you to have triple curse. This is kind of why I don't really like the point over here, Malediction, because, I don't know, more or less for this build, it feels like it just gives you triple curse, and I don't really think that's terribly worth it, especially when you have a Dodre's Damning. And Dodre's Damning is going to be very accessible and very easy to get for the most part.
Can I play with these?
Yeah, you can play with them. Crystal Belt. As you can see with all this gear, I've actually gone...
Other one. I need the other one.
With all this gear, I have gone pretty conservative on its stats, on its on the rolls, and, you know, I haven't really, you know, jacked anything up quite a bit, so this will be pretty easy. 2 Spreading Rot jewels. You have another jewel socket that you could put an Abyss jewel in, or just a traditional jewel, something that gives you damage over time and chaos damage. That will work. As for the energy shield at level, let's see, this is level 83. At level 83, you're going to have about 7k ES, which is not too bad. Again, you can get a lot more ES out of all these pieces for the most part. And then you still have a lot of points on the passive tree. Something that I did forget. You would probably want to use a Sorrow of the Divine on this. Now, you'd want to use a Sorrow of the Divine so you can get Zealot's Oath, which you don't necessarily need Zealot's Oath, but having that extra regen definitely doesn't hurt, and it also allows you to fully use Growth and Decay while ever Zealot's Oath is running. So you'd probably grab Alchemist. So this is pretty much it. A Witchfire Brew. The one thing that I don't like about Witchfire Brew is you can actually get a little bit more damage out of a Despair that you have linked yourself, but then you have to figure out how you're going to, you know, have enough unreserved mana so you could cast, because having 3 auras or having Discipline plus 3 curses on Blasphemy will be pretty hard to do, even with the Heretic's Veil. So I feel like Witchfire Brew is going to be pretty standard, and maybe, you know, when you get to ultra late game and you have a level 4 Enlighten and you have access to, you know, you're like level 96 or 97, maybe at that point you could consider doing that. But until then, I think it's strictly just better to use a Witchfire Brew. It just makes it easier for you. You have a little bit of flexibility in that last flask slot. So yeah, that's it for the gear. Let's go ahead and talk about the Caustic Arrow setup itself. Damage on full life is going to be pretty much like you're going to use it because damage on full life is OP, and they didn't change anything in the patch notes. Swift Affliction, Void Manipulation, Slower Projectiles, and Efficacy. Now, Efficacy will eventually be Empower will eventually become better than Efficacy, but only once Empower. See, like Empower reaches level 4. So if you have a level 4 Empower, it's better than Efficacy. But if you have a level 3, then Efficacy is better. So you're going to want to use Efficacy for the most part with this build. Unless you're really stubborn and you just want to feel cool having an Empower in there. But even then, you'll still need a level 3. Okay. Discipline, Enfeeble, Tempt Chains. You're going to be pretty good defensively with this build, which is, again, going back to why I would choose Void Beacon over Malediction. It's because Malediction, if anything, is better for you defensively, because Malediction makes it to where enemies deal 10% reduced damage. So defensively, I think this build is perfectly fine. So you don't really need it, which is exactly why I'd rather go Void Beacon, because that's what you do need on a Caustic Arrow build. You do struggle. You do put a lot of work into getting your 6-link bow, because you do want a 6-link and you do want a +3 bow. You're gonna invest a few Exalt into it at least. So when you're doing that, you know, you might as well do everything else to make your damage, you know, as strong as possible. So a wither with a spell totem setup. You could use any golem that you want. You could use a lightning golem. You could use a flame golem. Flame golem would be better for damage. A lightning golem would give you a little bit, you know, again, more attack speed, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But more attack speed will definitely help you for clearing and everything. Blight's going to be in your gloves. You could just link that to, you know, like faster casting and, you know, something else. Anything so you could apply it. You're only really ever going to be applying that on high health targets, and you're just going to be going up and just, you know, tapping it real quick. So you can hinder them with through your spreading rot jewels. Val Lightning Trap. You can't, unfortunately, I'm not actually putting this in the configuration because I'm not entirely sure if you say, is the enemy shocked? I don't know what value it places the shock at. So yeah, the Val Lightning Trap is something that you're going to want though. So that's pretty much it for the Occultist Caustic Arrow build. It's something that I'm thinking about playing right now. I don't know if I'm going to do it. The only thing I don't really like about it is it is a little hard to level. Notice that in this little kind of discussion guide, I didn't say this is how you should level. That's because it's going to be a pain in the ass, to be completely honest with you. Not so hard that you can't do it. Like, you're probably going to level with like ED and Contagion, and you'll probably go out through here and you'll go life. But I don't know, for a league starter, it has its... If you like the playstyle, you could play it. It's quite a bit of fun. It is a playstyle that I enjoy myself, and like I said, I might do it. But with the changes to Occultist, I think it's in a pretty good spot. And, you know, being able to apply it to hexproof enemies, that's a really big deal. And defensively, this build will feel pretty solid when it comes down to it. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you're planning on doing something similar, or maybe if you're thinking about doing a Trickster version of this. I haven't really looked at Trickster, even though I know Trickster is pretty good. It would probably be pretty good for this, or Deadeye. Not Deadeye. Raider. Raider would be good for this as well. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.